Good morning. We are live on Facebook this lovely Wednesday morning. How is everyone? So for today's topic, it's going to be about managing emotions, and I'm going to give you seven methods to successfully curb your frustration. So I hope those of you who are watching live have a pen and paper ready so that you can write these down. If you're watching the replay, again, hope you have a pen and paper so you can write these down. And I'm excited, so let's go. I know it's super early. It is now 6 minutes past 8 a.m. here in Ireland. Let me know where you're watching from in the comments. And yeah. So let's get stuck into this. So regardless of how calm you are most of the time, you might still have moments when your frustration level seems to go sky high. The challenging aspect of feeling frustrated is the urgency you feel to express those upsetting feelings. However, you've no doubt learned you've got to keep a lid on it. Your feelings in certain situations, and if you don't, you only create more difficulties for yourself. In such experiencing times, try these strategies to help handle your frustrations. So the first one is take deep breaths. Okay, although this strategy sounds like it might not help at all, the fact is that breathing techniques really do work. If you use the Wellness Guru Andrew Wheel's 4-7-8 technique for breathing, you'll discover you can calm yourself down rather quickly. And here's how it works. You breathe in for the count of 4, then hold your breath for the count of 7, and finally breathe out of your mouth for the count of 8, focusing on blowing out all the air from your lungs in this step. And if you take 4-7-8 breaths in a row, your frustration will likely dissipate and you'll feel better. Now, to give a little bit more information on that point, like, I'm a meditation teacher, I'm a meditation practitioner, and breath work really does help, especially in terms of when you're feeling an overwhelming emotion. Because if you think about it, the only thing that's constant with you in your life is your breath. It stays with you from the moment you're born until the moment you die. If you're upset, what changes? Your breath. If you're happy, what changes? Your breath. If you're angry, what changes? Your breath. So if you can learn these breathing techniques to calm yourself down, to slow your breathing down, you're automatically going to be able to manage most emotions. The second point I'm going to give you is disengage. If you're in a situation where you can briefly leave the room, excuse yourself to exit. Go to the restroom or for a quick walk in the building or around the parking lot. Physically disengaging from the frustrating event will nearly always help your frustration level drop. Just walk away. You have no obligation to anybody to stay there in that situation that's making you uncomfortable, that's making you frustrated. You have no obligation to stay there, so just walk away. The third point I want to make for this one is challenge yourself to say nothing. Probably the toughest suggestion on this list to actually do. Saying nothing means you won't compound any developing difficulty in the room. Although you might have a right to your feelings, it's always wise to voice them. It's not always wise to voice them, especially if you're feeling quite frustrated at the time. Count to 5. Walk away. You don't have to say anything to anybody. You can literally just walk away, say nothing, calm down for a minute, and then come back and discuss what was going on. If you try to discuss things when you are frustrated or when you're angry, you're just going to be full of emotions. You're not going to be able to think clearly. Point number 4 is be proactive. Try to anticipate when you might feel frustrated so that you can ponder how you'll handle this if it happens. For example, maybe you've got a brother-in-law who seems to always push your buttons and get you feeling pretty irritated. And you just happen to be going out for dinner with your brother-in-law and your sister for the evening. Ask yourself, how can I prepare now to keep my frustration at bay or handle it if the brother-in-law triggers me? Thinking about it ahead of time will help you tap into your own strategies to keep a handle on your own frustration. The 5th point, learn to distinguish between things that really matter and the small stuff. So a good book to read on that point is this one, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson. Give that a read. But does the situation you're getting so annoyed at really matter in the grand scheme of things? Save your emotional aggression, agitation for something that's truly important. When you establish these differences in your mind, you'll really be able to ignore the small stuff. And to do this, you want to ask yourself, will this make a difference in a year from now? In 5 years from now? If not, you can usually put it in the category of the small stuff. Another way of using this concept is to pick your battles. Save the battles for the big stuff. There's no point in crying over spilt milk. The second last point for this, or the second last tip, number 6, is distract yourself. If you get irritated when only 2 or 3 people are present, it's best to distract yourself with thoughts of things you have to do at home or looking for something in your briefcase or purse. Maybe and notice a lovely painting on the wall in the restaurant where you're dining. You can avoid simple frustrations by either thinking about or doing something to take your mind away from the frustrating topic. It's all just about distracting yourself. And the last tip on how to successfully curb your frustration: focus on another person in the room. If you're in a group of people and someone says or does something that frustrates you, turn to the next person and ask how she's doing or he's doing. It's fairly easy to disengage from the person who's irritating you and talk to somebody else whenever others are close by. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. You have the power to curb your frustration. You can take deep breaths, disengage, avoid commenting, anticipate developing frustrations, and learn to tell the differences between big things and the small stuff. You can also distract yourself or even focus on another person in the room. These methods work. Try them the next time you're feeling frustrated. You'll feel so much better and your frustration will disappear. So I'm going to leave you with that. Let me know in the comments what you think of these 7 tips, and let me know what you want me to discuss next week. I'll see you then. Bye.